Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I made French macarons with pecans. The full recipe will be in the description box below, so if you can't keep up, don't worry, I've got you covered. So the first thing I did was scale out my pecans, and I put them in my food processor. You're going to blitz this up to as fine as you can possibly get it. But you'll notice that you'll still see a few bigger chunks. And so what I did is I took my coffee grinder to help me out with the bigger chunks, and I did this in stages. You'll notice as the pecans are stirring that they'll become a little bit pasty, but don't worry about that because this mixture again will go back into the food processor with the confectioner sugar and the almonds, and lastly, of course, those pecans. If you don't have a coffee grinder, don't worry, you can skip that step. You will likely achieve the same consistency as this. The pastry chef in me just always wants to be thorough. So this is the consistency you're looking for. It's going to be a very fine sandy grain, and this is what will help give your macaron surface that smooth texture. This is what you want. Then you're going to have to separate your egg whites and your yolks, and please make sure you do not get any yolk into the whites whatsoever, and keep those egg yolks. You can make a lemon curd with it. Then you're going to scale out your sugar, and this is the sugar that's going on top of the stove on a medium-high heat. Just put enough water that it covers the surface of the sugar. Do not add more, do not add less, just enough to cover the surface. This will go on the stove top, and while you're doing that, scale out the reigning sugar, and then you're going to whip your egg whites. Now you're going to whip this on a low to medium speed while you're waiting for your sugar on the stovetop to reach the correct temperature, which is 114 degrees Celsius. Now keep whipping this until it becomes foamy, and then that's when you start to rein in your sugar. You can't add the sugar all in at once because your egg whites won't expand the way that they should if you do. So you're just going to have to rein the sugar in and let this keep mixing. Now your sugar on the stovetop will be ready at 114 Celsius. Alternately, you can get a fork and bend the end of it. Dip your fork in the sugar and you can blow into it like you're blowing a bubble. And if you achieve a bubble, then the sugar is ready. When the sugar is ready, you're going to slowly stream it into your egg mixture, and you're going to let this egg mixture whip for a good 4 minutes or so until it reaches a stiff peak. Now this is what you're looking for, a stiff peak. You should be able to hold that bowl upside down and it won't come out. For our TBT mixture, which is our almond, pecan, and icing sugar mixture, we're going to add this in halves. So you're going to mix carefully. You don't want to knock out too much of that egg fluff that we worked so hard on whipping. So you're just going to fold this mixture very, very carefully, making sure you also scrape the bottom of the bowl. And you're just going to fold and fold until you reach a little bit of a lava consistency. Now you're going to add in the second half of the TBT and do the same thing. You're just going to be folding and folding, and you're going to do this very carefully. Now this is what's called the Macaronage stage, and this is the stage where you add the dry ingredients to the the egg mixture. And when making macarons, this is where the mistakes would happen. If there's going to be any flaws at all, this is where it would happen. So I decided to color my macarons, of course, and I chose pink and I chose brown. The two colors blend very nicely together. And I separated my mixture. Again, be very careful when doing this. You don't want to overmix your batter to the point that it becomes too fluid that it's not able to pipe anymore. And once you've done that, you basically have to start from scratch. So again, be very, I can't even stress it enough, be very, very careful when you are mixing this batter, and especially when you're adding colors in. So a tip for the piping tips when you are going to fill your piping bags with this, you want to twist the very end so that it doesn't come leaking out. It still is a loose enough batter that it will come leaking out. So just twist the bottom. So when you're getting ready to pipe, just make sure you're holding that bag a little more upwards so nothing comes leaking out. So the technique to piping macarons is you're going to hold your bag upright and you're going to squeeze and let go, and then you're going to flick the piping bag a little bit so that you don't get a little bit of a tip that forms at the top. The tip is fixable. I mean, we are going to bang this tray onto the counter, so in most cases, the little tips that form on top sometimes will disappear. You want to bang this tray just to release some of the air bubbles that get trapped into the macaron batter, and then your cookies won't have that smooth top that you want to achieve. So you're going to bake these at 290 Fahrenheit for about 12 to 14 minutes. The best way to make sure that these cookies are done is that they will easily come off the tray. If they're still sticking, then they are not done. So next, of course, you are going to fill these macarons. And so I made a coffee Swiss meringue chocolate ganache buttercream here. So I thought that obviously chocolate would pair well with pecans and almonds, because those are my favorite chocolates naturally, are the ones that are covered in pecans or almonds. So naturally I wanted chocolate to be the filling here. You can fill these with anything you want. Caramel is another good choice, but you can do whatever your heart desires. Whatever you're fancying that day, you can fill these up with anything that you want. That's the beauty of making cookies, is that there's so many variations that you can do with these. I hope you guys give these macarons a try and let me know what you think. The last thing you get to do is plate them, box them, and eat them. So you should enjoy the fruits of your labor. And these are definitely worth the hard work. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like this content, please subscribe to my channel. Hope to see you guys soon. Have a sweet day. Bye.